We have given it our absolute all this week. The only problem is that it's Wednesday.
Yo,
Nevertheless.
this week is so slow.
Yesterday you thought it was Wednesday.
No, I thought it was Thursday, actually. This week
Aibo.
is very, very slow. I don't know what's happening, but we need to wrap it up.
We need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
No, let's get a move on it. Like, why is it everything else? Every other week is flying by fast. Why this week? Why is it taking its sweet time?
Right?
This week loves attention. It's like,
Oh.
no, oh my goodness, I'm here to stay. No,
Nah,
man.
nah,
Aibo,
nah, nah,
aibo.
nah.
So, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Cannot complain, or I could complain actually, but
you
I
choose not to.
not to complain.
Period. So we were having a conversation earlier,
Yeah.
and one of our colleagues said that she's going to get married on a Monday, so that you choose between your job or rice.
Yo, I think I'll choose rice.
You choose rice, ne?
Potato salad.
Rice and potato salad and the roast chicken.
Yes. Because my friend's only getting married once.
Yes.
Yes. So
You
I
go to
have
work every other day.
Yes. So,
So
why not? Why not show up for your friend?
Why not show up? Okay, that's good. Because then now I know that you'll put, because my celebration is going to be a week long.
Yo.
Yes. Now, when I say a week long, hear me out. I mean that there's going to be the traditional wedding a weekend before, right?
It's giving
For
Juma
example.
Jukes and Priest's wedding.
Yes.
Have you seen that wedding?
Yes, that's
Until now, I
exactly-
think that I don't know. Did we
I
finally
don't know.
wrap the
I
wedding?
don't know if we finally
Because
wrapped it up, but I'm pretty
there
sure by
was-
now we've wrapped it
There
up.
was a lot of celebration. I think there was one in Tanzania, one in Nigeria. There
That's how
was
it should be.
so many celebrations.
That's how it should be. So I'm going to have the traditional wedding on the one weekend, right? And then during that week, it's going to be an excursion, right?
It's
so we go
giving that
to
Abani wedding. Is
Yes,
it Amani?
yeah,
Is it
is it-
Abani or Amani?
the Indian
Indian,
billionaire.
yes.
And then so maybe on the Monday we explore the country because it's a destination wedding.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, girl, me. It's fine if you don't want to come.
Are you paying for
Yes.
everything? Okay, fine. If you're
Yes.
paying, you better be paying
Yes,
because
it's
I'm not
a
about to
destination
follow
wedding.
you all over the world out of my own pocket.
No, I think that's very inconsiderate.
Yes.
I think it's absolutely inconsiderate because people work hard for their money. And you expect people to spend all this money just to come and celebrate you. I think that's a little selfish.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's very selfish. Even this thing of, oh, you're now my maid of honor, but you need to pay $5,000. Like,
Yes. No, but I heard recently the packages have gone up to 10,000.
yo,
Yes. So
chomies.
it includes a dress. Includes a dress and a wig that you must take back, like an installation.
My
but you must
gosh.
give the wig back. And
Yo.
shoes, I'm assuming, and maybe a
Makeup,
bag.
probably.
No. Makeup, you must source your own.
I bought
Yeah.
chomies.
But this is
guys.
now a designer dress that you're getting.
No, but still.
Yeah, so the packages have increased to 10,000. I'm sure by the time you get married, it will be like 25,000
Yo,
or something.
but I've always said that when I get married, for my bridal party, everything is covered for them.
Yes, I always maintain that if you want me to be your bridesmaid or whatever, you must cover me, bruh.
Yes.
You must pay for my dress, my
Yes.
hair, my everything. Because I'm obviously going to serve you. I am your maid on that day.
On that day.
So
But, you
cover
know,
me then.
I don't know when this whole thing started, hey? Because growing up, that's all I've ever known. Where it's like, if I'm getting married, I have to pay for my bridesmaids' dresses. I have to
Exactly.
that's how it's always been. So I was surprised when now all of a sudden I hear, no, as a bridesmaid, you must pay.
I'm proposing you to be
Yes.
my bridesmaid, but
you
you must pay.
No, sweeties. I maintain.
That's why you shouldn't have a lot of bridesmaids. Have 3 or 4 bridesmaids.
so you can pay
For them everything, so that these people are happy to be at your wedding. They are happy
Exactly.
to serve you. They are happy to go and boil water for you.
Exactly.
They are, they are happy to greet your guests because now you've put so much financial pressure on them. They're gonna be upset and they're gonna be like, no, bruh, why is she asking me to boil water now? I already gave
Exactly.
10,000.
I already gave
And I
10,000.
already gave her a cow.
Yes.
And I already bought a 6-pack of something.
And I already brought what was on the gift registry.
Imagine.
So honestly speaking, guys, we need to be considerate of each other in this financial
Weddings
economy.
are becoming unnecessarily
They're
expensive.
becoming unnecessarily expensive. And also, guys, this economy is rough on everybody. If you have decided you want to get married, please make sure you have the budget to do that. Don't be expecting people to be contributing for your wedding. Let people contribute because they want to, not because they feel obliged or because you force them to. Nevertheless, that is our word of the day. We'll be right back with our top stories.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nhh.com.na.
Today in our top story, Sabrina Carpenter's next tour might include a phone ban. Carpenter was recently asked by Rolling Stone if she'd consider implementing a no-phone policy at one of her tours, and she says it will probably upset her fans, but absolutely. So she actually said that she did go to see Silk Sonic in Las Vegas, and they basically switched off their phones. Silk Sonic had a no-phone policy
That's
at
nice.
their concert.
Yes, I think that should be implemented because I feel like people, instead of enjoying the performance, you're
Yes.
constantly snapping it, you're constantly recording it. I don't know if you even go and re-watch this back at home.
No, it's just for the gram.
To actually enjoy the performance, or it's just for social
It's
media.
just for social
Why
media.
would you spend so much money for you not to enjoy? Like, I feel like
Exactly.
concerts, no phones should be allowed.
Yeah, so you actually enjoy. And also just this thing of everyone is just
Yes.
like, no man, now I'm behind you, I can't really see because you just
You are snapping.
No, guys.
Yeah.
Turn off the phones. Actually enjoy the concert. Have fun with your other concert goers. Respect the other concert goers. So I think most artists need to do that. Remember, there was also a time where people were throwing their phones on stage.
Yes.
Like,
No, it's a bit disruptive.
it's very disruptive. But nevertheless, that is it for our top stories. Let us know, what do you think? Would you buy a ticket for a concert and then they tell you no phones allowed? Or would you want to go into the concert with your phone? Nevertheless, we are now talking to a travel enthusiast. She goes by the name Sharon Taruka, and she's talking to us all about her journey and why she decided to start on solo traveling. Today we are talking all things of travel and vacation with a traveler of note and a fearless adventurer by the name Sharon, because not all heroes wear capes. Some take on the world solo with just their pillow and their suitcase. How are you doing, Sharon?
I am well. How are you, Diana?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Absolute
It's a
pleasure.
reunion?
It is a reunion. Diana and I were in the same class. I'm like, wow, being interviewed by my classmate and friend, of course.
Of course. All right. So first of all, you just returned from a trip to India. What was that experience like, and what are some of the memorable moments that you can share?
You know what? Before I started preparing for my trip to India, I was mighty scared. I was considering it my scariest trip ever. And that's because obviously at the time when I was preparing to leave, India and Pakistan were having the tension. And as soon as I arrived, the monsoon season was about to start. So there was like cyclone warnings and etc. But I was like, India, I must go. So I went to India for 3 weeks. The first week was primarily to attend my friend's wedding and pick up a suitcase that I left in the UK. So it was multitasking. But I had such an amazing time in India. I was pleasantly surprised by the experience in India. I loved the food, I loved the culture, I loved how hospitable people are. And obviously I'd keep telling people I had a shielded experience because as much as I went by myself, I ended up being with people who were from the place as well. So I had an amazing experience in India. And yeah, the food and the chai, chaya, as they like to say, was definitely the top 2 memories of both India, yes.
Okay, so it's completely different from what we see. Because I think a lot of the times the media portrays the ugliest parts of a country.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people that India is what you expect the most populated country in the world to look like. Obviously, there are certain things like the ugly would be intensified based on how many people or how many spaces you would see. But the beautiful sides of India as well, India is beautiful. It's developed, the roads are wide, they have, oh my gosh, they have all these amazing things. India is amazing and it's beautiful.
Did you go to the Taj Mahal?
And I keep telling people this, India is huge. You can't cover India in 3 weeks. I did try to go to about 3 different states. Unfortunately, the Taj Mahal is in a different state
from the 3
that I visited. You need a year to visit India,
Whoa.
or at least 6 months to go to all the places in India.
Okay, so talk to us about your love for travel. How did it develop, and how old were you when you took your first trip out of the country?
My love for travel, I believe, came from my parents. Growing up with my parents, they used to travel a lot in Namibia, and it's because of like the way the community is set up, particularly the Osherero speaking community. Like you travel to events, you go to a funeral, it does not matter how far it is. We can go and bury some in Opuo, you can go bury some in Keetmans or wherever. Like my parents took me along whenever we traveled. And my dad had this love for travel himself. Like at the time, my dad had traveled to something as small as Cape Town. He had traveled to Israel, and this is like back in the days.
Whoa.
So I think I got that from my dad. And in addition to that, in my house, we used to have like a globe, a plastic globe. And I think having seen like, oh my gosh, the world is bigger
so
than
big.
Namibia. It's not just Namibia. I think that's where my love for travel came from, when I saw like, there's so much out there to explore. And my dad made me believe in like, you can go and explore the world. So,
Nice.
how old was I when I took my first trip? I really don't remember, but I think I was in 2nd year at uni. And that was like a trip to Cape Town with like, I think it was a tourism society or something. So that was my first time leaving the country by,
Okay, all right. So obviously, as we're friends, I always see you in a different country. It's always so hard to keep up with where you are, which is why I was even surprised. It's like, you're back.
Yeah, back.
Yeah. So how many countries have you been to, and which are your top 3 destinations so far?
I had to count this morning coming. I'm like, how many countries have I been to? I've been to 28 countries, and that's excluding 2 islands. And top 3 countries, this is a tough one to answer. I keep telling people like every country gives you different experiences.
Yes.
But to sum it up, in terms of dream holidays, that I've always wanted to go to Iceland.
Okay.
I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights.
Northern
I saw the Northern Lights,
Yes.
and it was such a miracle seeing them, because it's not like a guaranteed something. So obviously for that reason, because it was I want to see the Northern Lights. One day I think I might even name my daughter Aurora or something.
Oh, beautiful.
So Iceland has to be number 1. And there are countries that you travel to, like, that you go back to oftentimes, and Portugal seems to be one of those countries for me. I genuinely enjoy Portugal. I also enjoyed Montenegro.
Oh,
I had such an emotional connection and experience to Montenegro. And dare I say, even the trip to India is it's top of my top experience. Yeah, so I don't think I can give like 6 countries. I can be like, oh, in terms of food, I genuinely enjoyed food in China. Till date, I feel like I had the best food in China.
I think Asian food in general,
It's
like
amazing.
you're saying, even the India,
yeah.
because India is part of Asia.
Yes.
So I think Asian cuisine as a whole
is just amazing, especially how they can make different things from the same thing.
Yes.
You're like, what?
Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, talking about all of these experiences, I don't think we'll have enough time, because I
No.
want to pick your brain on all these, you know, destinations.
Yes.
And what country would you say would be the safest to visit as a female solo traveler from the countries that you've of course visited?
I think that's a tough one. That's generally a tough one to answer. Like generally most countries are safe. but then you really have to be conscious about where you are.
Okay.
You have to know the culture of the country that you're going to as well. For instance, when I was in India, in certain parts of the country, there are certain things I couldn't wear because culturally it's frowned upon or it's not the norm. You just have to be vigilant, honestly. There's no country where I say I felt unsafe unless I myself was not conscious of where I was or etc.
Because I think that's the thing about being a female solo traveler. We're always so scared.
Yes.
A lot of us. I for one, am scared to travel alone because it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know anyone in that country. How did you overcome that fear? Because I'm pretty sure you also had your fears, and people also projected their fears onto you. How did you overcome that?
I think, Diana, that would have to go back to my first solo trip. I remember it was supposed to be a group trip, and you all know the whole thing of once you create a WhatsApp group,
it will never leave the
it will
chat.
never leave the chat. It will never leave the chat. Closer to the date, and my first solo trip was just here in Africa. I went to Zambia.
Okay.
And the wildest thing is, and this is where I think people say, like, you do too much, girl. I was going to visit people I had only known for 10 days.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Risky business. Tricky business.
So I think it was that whole thing. And I remember I got onto the bus. My phone was at 27%. And I'm just like, oh my word, what am I doing? So what made me do it was, if I don't do it, and it's something I am genuinely passionate about. I want to explore, want to travel. And I've always been the person where I can take myself out on a date or have dinner by myself. I don't like to rely on the presence of other people to do things, because otherwise you'll never get things done. So I was scared. But I always tell people, like, the biggest safety tip I can give, I don't know if you're going to ask about it later, is as long as someone knows where you are, where you're going, and all the details of the people that you're going to visit, you will be reasonably fine. And I keep telling people, like, just because you are solo traveling doesn't mean there are no people in that country. You often meet other solo travelers as well, and you build a community and you get to do and experience this country with someone else as well. So
I'm smiling because you're giving me motivation to
do it.
I have a few bucket list countries, but I'm like, I don't know anybody in that country.
You don't need to know someone. You will find people. You always find like-minded people. And I keep telling people, you'll find your tribe where you go. So just go.
So why is it essential that people, particularly women, take time to focus on leisure and relaxation?
Leisure and relaxation. I'm going to take it back to solo traveling as a female. I honestly would advise every woman to at least have one solo trip. It does not have to be outside the country. You can just do something scary by yourself. It can even just be somewhere within the country. And the reason why I say this is solo traveling has been the most liberating thing and the most empowering thing that I have ever had to do. And it's not just about travel. The fact that you're able to identify your strength and your ability to actually navigate the unknown. You don't speak the language. All you can say is hola, ciao, or whatever. Bonjour. But you're able to navigate, especially like when you're traveling in these countries where they use public transport, like the underground and so forth, and you're like, you have to figure out, oh my God, I want to go to the Eiffel Tower. How do I go? All these things.
How do you use the metro?
How do you use the metro?
Subway, all of that.
It's so scary, but once you do it, it's so liberating and it gives you so much strength. And I think it trickles down to other parts of your life as well, where you're like, you know what, if I can do this, if you're faced with a challenge or whatever, you're like, if I can really go to a country where I don't, if I can travel solo.
If you could go to China.
Okay, China was on a solo trip, but like if you can go to, like, say, Albania, Serbia, if you can go to Romania, if you can go to, I don't know, Iceland, even just the Portugal or whatever, by yourself, it really does give you
the motivation and
the courage,
the perseverance.
Like not even just the perseverance, just that knowledge of, if I can do this, I can do any other thing in my life. And as women, I think that is also very essential, because you can walk out of a lot of situations, or you can step into rooms and demand for things because you believe, you have that belief in yourself.
That is beautiful. Okay, so what are some of the downsides of solo traveling besides not having someone to take your content?
Besides not having, oh my gosh, that's a major one. But you get over it so fast. You get used to getting terrible pictures. You're like, you know what?
It's fine.
It's fine.
You just
it's
walk
me.
up to people and ask them, hi, can you please take a picture?
There is a trick to it. oftentimes people tell me like, oh my gosh, like I know you mentioned this off air, or like, oh, tell us, do you meet people on these trips? People travel with their people. That's one thing I've learned.
Yes.
You don't get to meet anyone
Yeah.
solo at an airport. So oftentimes you go to the ladies who are standing next to their men, and you're like, hey, can you take a picture of me?
Okay.
And then what they then would do is give the men the phone, and then they instruct how
Oh,
he takes the pictures.
I see.
Yes, so then you get good pictures. Otherwise,
Okay.
you just ask random people like, hi, I'm solo traveling. Do you mind taking pictures of me? And people are genuinely nice, and
Okay.
they will take pictures of you. But I forgot your question. What was
Okay, the question was, what are some of the downsides?
the downsides, apart from asking strangers or people not having someone take content of you, is solo traveling can be lonely.
Okay.
And I think I spoke about this whilst I was in India or on my way to India. Solo traveling can be lonely because it's not everyone that has that, I don't know, character to just open up to people and be like, hey, how are you? I'm by myself. Do you want to grab a coffee? Do you want to whatever? So oftentimes solo traveling can be really lonely. You are, say when you have long haul flights, you're sitting there by yourself, and sometimes people also are tired. They just want to rest and not be social, and they just want to get
put
there
their headsets
and just get to wherever they are going. So I think that's the downside of solo traveling. Honestly,
Yeah,
it can
the loneliness.
it can be lonely.
Because I mean, even when you're seeing some of
Yeah.
these famous landmarks, and you don't
Yeah.
have someone to be like, hey, like, isn't that so cool? And you know,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It can be lonely, but other than that, really, it's one of the best things or experiences or journeys I have taken in my life.
that is
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. All right, Sharon,
Yes.
one last question before I let you go. What advice do you have? I know we probably said this
Yeah.
as we were speaking, but now, flat out, what advice would you give to someone who is thinking of taking a solo trip but is too scared?
Do it.
Okay.
Just do it. Obviously, you would have measures in place where you feel safe. For instance, I have a friend who is currently in the UK, but she has my live location, and
Okay.
every time I'm moving, I'm like, hey, I'm going to this landmark, I'm going for dinner, I meet people, I'm going where I'm expected to be in that area at this time, etc. So she always tracks my location, and she knows
Okay.
where I'm staying,
Who
all-
you're staying,
who
all
I'm
of
staying
that,
with,
yeah.
all those details. But honestly, if you're thinking of doing a solo trip, just do it, and the moment you overcome that fear,
You can do
oh my
anything.
word, you can do anything, literally.
All right, Northern Lights, here I come. This has been my motivation to finally book that solo trip. I'll probably call you like, Sharon, I'm scared. What do I do?
I'll guide you through it, but just do it.
Okay, so
Yes.
saying that now, I think you should also just write a handbook. You know, you should be one of those people on Instagram that sells these courses, like how to navigate solo traveling. as a
Listen,
woman.
I am in the process, okay? I just got back. I'm in the process of also just registering a travel consultancy for curating
Nice.
trips, especially for solo travelers. And the other thing that I also do is oftentimes, I know we should wrap up, oftentimes I have friends who are traveling to different countries, and I've built such a huge network with people all over the world.
The globe.
all over the globe. So oftentimes I have friends say like, no, I'm going to Uganda, I'm going to Rwanda, I'm going to Mauritius, I'm going to even Tanzania. I'm like, no, don't worry, I know someone there.
Yeah,
And then I'll always
okay.
link them up with someone that I know very
Who's
well,
there,
who's
okay.
there and who's able to give them just like a local experience for a day or two.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, and then again, where can people find you? Like now that we know that we can come to you for tips and tricks.
My social media handles are Sharon Daruka all over social media platforms. It's just Sharon Daruka. You can slide in my DM and we can take it from there.
Yes, that's Z-A-A-R-U-K-A.
Oh, sorry. It's
yes.
Sharon. Yes, Z-A-A-R-U-K-A. Daruka. Yes.
Daruka, yes.
It's
All right.
early in the morning.
Sharon, thank you so very much for joining us. And again, all the best with all of your future endeavors, because you've proven that you can do just about anything if you
I
set your
can.
mind to it.
Thank you so much, Diana. It has been a pleasure to share with you and everyone else.
All right. Well, Anna and I have been inspired, so now we're going to go pack our bags and go for a trip in our dreams. Until tomorrow, this has been Smell the Coffee. We'll catch you again, same time, same place.